Penguin Random House Audio presents This Book May Save Your Life. Everyday Health Hacks to Worry Less and Live Better. Written and read for you by Dr. Karan Rajan.
Introduction. Let me describe my job in non-medical terms. I slice into people when they're asleep, with their consent, and remove things. I should stress that I'm one of the good guys, because despite missing some stuff from their bodies, when they resurface from their medically induced slumber, my patients feel more whole as a result. As a general surgeon, I have the pleasure of dealing with everything from guts to gallbladders, bleeding hemorrhoids, and beyond. Over the course of my career, I've had the blessing and misfortune to witness everything from miracle surgeries to tragic losses. In the process, I've come to appreciate that the human body is both a wonder of biology and a total death trap. This audiobook is not a medical encyclopedia, nor will it qualify you as a doctor. You can pretty much pick up all the medical skills you need on Google nowadays. At least that's what some people are led to believe. Instead, what's on offer here is the extraordinary story of how your incredible body is also out to destroy you. It's not all doom and gloom, having witnessed my rose-tinted view of the human body darken from the moment I entered medical school and continue to dim throughout all my years of unpicking problems, faults, and breakdowns inside my patients. I thought it would be useful to create a survival guide to this meat suit in which you're trapped for life. If you're familiar with my work on social media, where I started out posting videos about how to perform the perfect poo and found the brand of milkshake that drew millions of people to my yard, you'll know that I enjoy busting body myths and exploring subjects that should never have become taboo. When it comes to health, not talking about personal issues does us humans a massive disservice. So, let's right that wrong here in one audiobook, which you can listen for entertainment, education, or as an occupant's guide to getting the most out of your body. Ultimately, I'm here to guide you safely around your body's biological barbs, traps, slides, and pitfalls to improve your quality of life. Maybe you'll fine-tune your sleep health, say goodbye to indigestion, or simply enjoy the most epic and efficient dump of your existence. At the very least, it might help to slow the inevitable decay your body started going through from the moment of your birth. Ultimately, my sincerest hope is that this audiobook serves as an instruction manual to our eventual AI overlords, so they know how to take care of a human and get the most out of us. I first crossed paths with medicine in 1996. On a particularly humid afternoon in the suburbs of Mumbai, I was playing a game of street cricket with my cousin. As he ran up to bowl towards me, he was struck by an invisible force and crumpled to the ground in agony. It was a terrifying moment. I felt so helpless, and that helplessness had a profound effect on me. Having helped my family to rush him to the hospital, we spoke to the doctors who diagnosed him with a ruptured appendix. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but seeing him drop down opened my eyes to a simple truth. The human body is great, but seems hell-bent on taking us out. At medical school interviews, where I found myself after having decided upon my calling, they always love to dredge up the same question. Why do you want to go into medicine? Predictably, everyone churns out the same panicky, unimaginative drivel which broadly revolves around two main themes. Firstly, I want to help people. And secondly, I'm fascinated by the human body. Anyone who truly knows me, which due to my long and antisocial shift hours is kind of limited to my parents and dog, could have told you that the first reason never really applied to me. I like people, don't get me wrong, and if I can save their lives, I'm thrilled. But ultimately, I am driven by an obsession with how the body works. It's only now, however, when I look back at my career, that I realize it's not the kind of wide-eyed fascination which we tend to express watching wildlife documentaries fronted by Sir David Attenborough. The truth is, I'm a little bit like a bystander at a traffic accident. I can't stop looking, despite my better nature, because I am absolutely appalled at what I'm witnessing. Having lost count of the number of surgical operations I've conducted and become hands-on familiar with the body's inner workings, I can confidently say that it's a miracle that we're even here as a species. You're basically a living, breathing canvas of hand-me-down traits, and that includes structures that seemingly serve no purpose. Take chins, for example. Even our close cousins Homo erectus and the Neanderthals didn't feel the need to sport them. Ultimately, you just have to be content with the fact that you're the sum total of a lot of mistakes, trials, and errors. It's just that evolution has buried the evidence, mostly. Throughout my time in medical school, I loved to get under the skin. Above all, I was drawn to the practical anatomy sessions. I dissected into the abdominal muscles and uncovered the full length of the intestines, various blood vessels, and a network of nerves that ran through the body like phone lines. This behind-the-scenes view of life felt invasive, unnatural, but also essential. It was here that I decided I was going to become a surgeon. It would be an opportunity to understand how our bodies are equipped to wipe us out, but also how we can enhance them or tweak our lifestyles to minimize the chances of falling apart before our time is due. We focus so much of our everyday lives on the external appearances of things and often relegate our internal organs to the recesses of our mind. The body is a family, and each member, from the liver to the stomach to the heart and brain, has their specific part to play in keeping us alive. Just like any family, however, everyone relies on each other for support. So when one goes rogue or members fall out with each other, the whole family can implode like an internal Jerry Springer episode. I fell in love with this occasionally dysfunctional family over the course of 6 years at medical school. Throughout this time, I spent countless hours staring at cellular architecture under a microscope, dissecting dead bodies in cadaver labs, and meeting patients who taught me how the body performs in both sickness and in health. Finally, I traded in the lecture slides and multiple choice questions and started clinical hospital rotations. My first was general surgery. The night before I started, I rigorously revised my gastrointestinal anatomy. If I was to be grilled by the surgeons on the minutiae of the blood supply to the large intestine, I refused to find myself afflicted by the dreaded condition I'd heard about called hot seat aphasia. Aphasia is the inability to speak, often affecting patients who've had strokes, but can also transiently affect nervous medical students when they are under the spotlight. I was scrubbed into an operation to remove a bowel cancer, but it all seemed so vastly different from the textbooks. I was also far removed from the serene environment of the cadaver lab, where you could explore organs at a gentle pace and pod and poke with curiosity. When the surgeon made the cut into the abdominal tissue, a small jet of red fluid hit my nose. This was real medicine. A living human being had placed their life in our hands. The incision that the surgeon opened up revealed a glistening, moist interior like wet velvet. With the patient's chest rising and falling, I peered into the abdominal cavity to see the intestines bathed in a straw-colored juice, wriggling like a bowl of worms. At that point, the anaesthetist alerted us to the fact that the bleeding had caused the patient's heart rate to go up and the blood pressure to drop. The trauma we had introduced with that scalpel had caused their breathing to become labored. Such observations finally revealed to me that my learning so far had been flawed. It was only now that I realized how distant organs seemingly disconnected were like tenants living in a shared flat. If one person clogs the toilet, everyone is screwed. Showing the kind of calm under pressure that took me a while to acquire, the surgeon worked quickly and skillfully to complete the procedure. With the patient stabilized and the tumor removed, it struck me that the experience had been life-changing for more than one of us. Medicine is an industry for specialists. Doctors have become increasingly narrowed in their scope of expertise, veering away from their predecessors who maintained a basic grasp of every field. This is a good thing, especially if you're the one being treated, because ultimately you want to feel confident that the surgeon removing your gallbladder is a master of the procedure and hasn't just memorized a YouTube tutorial. Even though I mainly deal with guts these days, I find it still helps for me to see the human body as a whole. After all, one variable can cause the entire system to alter and even falter.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?